Youth and the Law.
Welcome to today's episode of Youth and the Law. Today, our episode will be on conspiracies. A conspiracy is when you have two or more people who agree together to do an unlawful act. Now, there are three main parts to a conspiracy. The first part is the agreement. All parties have to agree in this conspiracy. They have to agree that they are doing this thing. The second part is the objective. They have to be doing an unlawful thing, or they're doing something that is lawful using unlawful methods. The third part is mens rea, where you have, they have to be doing something harmful. The defendant has to be capable and intending to do something of harm. Now, there are two kinds of main conspiracies: the wheel and the chain conspiracy. The wheel conspiracy is when you have one ringleader who will talk to his conspiracy people, so his co-conspirators. And well, those spokes of the wheel won't actually discuss with each other. They will be linked by the ringleader. The second kind is the chain conspiracies. And that's when it's like your typical drug dealer situation. You have your drug makers who will contact with the middle person, the drug dealer, where you have the drug buyers on the opposite end. They all have a common interest and they all have stakes in this community, but they may not know each other. Today, our panelists are Hikaru and Trevon. I am Ryan, and welcome to today's episode of Youth and the Law. So let's start with today's questions. The first question is, in charges of conspiracy, usually you're allowed to press charges for all the different conspirators. You can compress all your charges in one conspiracy charge. So you basically lump all of them together. Do you believe this is good for the legal system or not?
Well, I understand it. And I'm not sure where I stand with that one. Like, I'm not quite sure. I can't really say for sure because even though they may all be connected, I guess some people might have like really minor rules, but they still be getting the same punishment, right? I'm not sure. It really depends on the situation, but I can't say for now. I'm kind of neutral.
What about you? What do you think, Hikaru?
I think it's not good because they get together and occur incident. So if they get together, maybe I think they will make a new incident, or like they try to escape because they are member.
Okay, but do you think that by putting them together we can have better charges? Do you think this is a good thing? Like, is it right to charge all of them for something they may not all have done? Trevon?
I don't know. For me, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because I think sometimes people can have really, I don't know. Someone could have like a really minor part in it and not even think that they're really doing anything, right? But simply because they've discussed the things, I don't know. I'm neither for or against. I'm kind of neutral here. I don't know what to say. I don't have an opinion on that yet.
Well, they didn't really stop what was going on, even though they knew what was happening.
I think I might be more against that, though. I might be more against, but it depends.
Let's move on to the next question. In conspiracy cases, even if everyone is not involved in a conspiracy, but they knew about it, and the person's testimony can still be used to increment the conspirators. So this doesn't actually fall in the hearsay rule. In fact, usually it's ignored completely. Is this good for the legal system?
I think it could be good. I think it could be good because I guess if it did fall under the hearsay rule, then people who I guess knew about these conspiracies, they might not really tip other people. They might not really tip the police because they go, oh, well, it's gonna go under the hearsay rule, you know. But I think that just because it doesn't, you know, I guess maybe one person who could possibly, you know, kind of in a situation be in on it, but tell them they're in on it, but really not, you know, and kind of stop something big from going down. That's what I think. I think it could be good. I think it's.
What about you, Hikaru?
I think I think that it's difficult to see to find that the person who not create this crime but who know is team member or not. So if they know about the crime, I feel it's that person also that team member. So like they try to say that crime more.
So you think that anyone who already knows about the crime will be also in on it?
Yeah.
So let's move on to our third question. So quite often, an agreement to pursue an unlawful activity is between two or more people, and that's all that's really needed for a conspiracy. You don't actually need to physically do something. So without physically doing something, you can still be arrested and charged for a conspiracy charge. What do you people think about this? Hikaru.
I think it's team play. So like bench warmer also their team, and if there are no bench warmer, they can't do that crime.
How about Trevon?
I don't know. It depends on the punishment, because I don't know the punishment for that, for simply just having a verbal agreement rather than like engaging in physical activity. Because it really does depend. I mean, some people can just be, you know, could just be saying things out of, you know, but not really thinking about it, and then come to the senses and be like, yeah, but you know, that would be kind of really stupid. You know what I mean? Some people, some people can like say things out of rage or sometimes, or not really thinking about it entirely. I think, I don't know. I'm iffy. I'm kind of iffy about that because something, I don't know, something could just change, or they can just, you know, realize, you know, oh, yeah, this isn't a good idea. But then by that time, you know, they can already get charged, so it really depends.
Well, the three components of a conspiracy are the agreement, the obligation, the objective, and mens res. So if they perhaps didn't intend to harm the suspect, but they still agreed to do it, and they did something, but they didn't do anything unlawful, I suppose it would depend on the severity of the parts of conspiracy which they did fulfill. Now let's move on to question 4. Just by aiding or abetting a conspirator, someone can be a co-conspirator. So this is still considered possible for a conspiracy charge. However, if you only have knowledge of the conspiracy, it doesn't really make you a conspirator. So if you know about the agreement, you don't necessarily become open to charges, but if you do agree, you are open to charges. Do you think that having mere knowledge should make you a conspirator?
No, I don't think it should make you no, I don't think so. I'm iffy on that one too. I'm iffy on that one too because it depends on the knowledge that you have. If you have knowledge about something, and you could really prevent like something, some like.
So if you could prevent it, but you chose not to.
I don't know. I think it depends on the extent of the you know, the extreme of the conspiracy as well.
Well, let's suppose you could easily prevent it. You have contact with the police, and you knew that, for example, New Times Square was going to be bombed.
I don't think it should make you a conspirator, because some people, I don't know, some people just don't even want to associate themselves, don't even want to get involved. You know, some people just be like, it's not my business. I'm just going to go about with my life, right? Even though they have knowledge about it. I don't know if people should really be like charged for that, because maybe they can be in fear of something, or if the other conspirators coming after them and be like, hey, you ratted us out or something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't think they should face the same charges.
What about you, Hikaru?
I think it depends on that person for assist that crime get money or not, because if that person get money from that actually they did crime, I think it's that.
So if they have stakes, they should still be charged for that. So if they had any benefit from this crime.
I think if there are no benefits, it's I don't know how to say that.
Okay.
It's not.
I agree too. I think if they have benefits, and if they're getting a slice out of it, then yeah, I think they could be charged.
They could be charged. So, moving on to question 5. Now, in 2011, something popular quite showed up. An NFL football player, Sam Hurd, was induced by an undercover Fed into a drug deal. Now, while playing football, Hood operated as an illegal drug ring. He was the ring dealer in the Wheel conspiracy. Now, should people like Hood be charged for conspiracy in distributing unlawful drugs, even when he was duped? The law will usually side for the uncovered cop, but do you believe this is fair for public justice? Hikaru.
I think it's fair because it's about crime. So if that police didn't pretend like the illegal dealer, maybe police can't catch that criminal. So I think it's fair because if that soccer football player didn't do like bad thing, they didn't arrest it. So it's fair.
In law, the impossibility defense is rendered useless when it comes to conspiracies. What do you think?
I think it is fair justice, though. I think it's fair for public justice because they can possibly be stopping things from happening later on, or and if they've obviously been involved in things from the past, so they technically are still catching a criminal, right? The act is bait, but they're still catching them from doing something in the future.
It's obvious that if they were to act in this situation, it's very likely they act in all other situations similar to this one.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know of other situations. It's not on the topic of conspiracy, but I know other situations where I used to watch this show where they would lure child pedophiles to a young girl's home, right? And the police would be waiting there as they tried to make their exit. You probably know the show.
No, I do not. I don't watch TV.
Oh, okay. Well, it was a pretty popular show.
Well, let's move on to question 6. Recently, a Canadian businessman was charged for conspiring a bribe to officials in the Air India port for about, $500,000. Now, let's assume that the businessman told his co-conspirators that a bribe was needed in order to get a business contract with this airline. However, what if a co-conspirator went against the Canadian businessman's wishes and assaulted an Air Indian line worker and saying that if he would not give us the contract, he would get more of that assault? Now, do you think that the whole everyone in the conspiracy should be guilty of what this one co-conspirator did against the main person's wishes?
I think they all have responsibility, especially the ringleader, because you guys are kind of you're all one group, and you're it's kind of like if I'm with for here, like you form like a gang of people, and after you guys are for this one cause, but after one of them, that's pretty much what the situation is a gang of people, you guys are going for one cause, and then one of them goes extreme and hurts somebody. Well, I mean, I think it's everybody as a unit though, because you guys decided to form the conspiracy in the first place, right? And I think that it should be spread, the responsibility for that. Yeah.
Well, this is taking account that the person who did assault the Air Indian line worker was not doing this on the wishes of the Canadian businessman. In a way, this is kind of related to school projects. When you're in a group project with other people, some of them may fail epically and do terrible, terrible things, but in a way, your mark won't completely reflect the things they have done, or rather, didn't do. You have both an individual and a group mark. And if it's with their actions contrasted extremely with yours, we would lean more towards the individual mark. So perhaps there should be both, everyone into conspiracy should be charged a small bit for what this one person did. However, we should lean more towards what each of them did as a group. Or individually, perhaps.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to question 7. What if 2 conspirators were to rob a bank or plan to rob a bank the next day, but they abandoned their plan before actually physically doing the action of? Now, no matter, the cops do get word of their evil plan and arrest the 2 conspirators anyways. So, the law says that these 2 people would still be guilty of a conspiracy charge, even though they didn't physically rob a bank. Now, do you agree with this, Trevon?
No, I'm a little iffy on that one too. I think, well, if it's something as extreme as robbing a bank, then I think that, if they have everything planned out, I'm a little iffy on that one too, because I don't know.
You seem iffy on everything.
Yeah, it's strange because I don't know. They didn't really do it. I mean, it's like telling somebody, "Hey, I'm gonna punch you," but you don't, right? I mean, I don't know. It's strange. It depends because I guess it's showing. I mean, that's proof that they're capable of being harmful to society. That they're capable of doing something, right? But at the same time, they didn't. So I'm not sure. You can charge them for that, right? Because I mean, you'd be stopping them from potentially changing their minds in the future and being like, okay, let's just do it, right? I don't know, 50-50 though. I think it more depends on the situation. But I think for the bank thing, I kind of understand it. I understand, but it's hard for me to say what I understand.
Usually in a debate, when something like this would happen, what I'd say is that planning something does not hurt anyone, and therefore what they are doing does not go against any wills of anyone else. It doesn't hurt what they plan to do, and technically this shouldn't be considered a negative action. What do you think, Hikaru?
Even if they are just planning rob from bank, but if the police notice about that and they don't arrested them, that they keep thinking about that make crime. So I think that the police catch catch them is the meaningful for the future.
They definitely would be a cause for harm possibly later.
I have another thing to add though. Like I think I might be in favor for that because it depends on the situation. Like say a group of people, like I was just thinking, like say if a group of people were planning to like kill you or something or hurt somebody in your family, right? In a situation like that, and after they don't, but then you hear about it, you find out about it, right? I mean, I think then I think they could. You think that some arrests could be made because that's just, like I said before, like they have potential to be very dangerous, right? And if they plan everything out, I mean, it's like they can just decide, oh, let's just go with this plan, one day.
So fitting under the rules of having something to be a conspiracy, Was there an agreement? Yes, they definitely agreed to do something from these two parties. They both agreed. Was there an objective? They were planning to do something unlawful, and it's unlawful, I presume, to plan to do something unlawful. But however, they didn't actually hurt anyone, but they definitely had the intent to harm. So this would be considered a conspiracy, by those rules at least. That's it for this week's Youth and Law Show. I hope you've learned something from the show, and see you next time.